Hey everyone, this is Rangam and I'm back with Business with Rangam. Today, I'll be speaking on crisis creating opportunities. I was recently speaking at an event on the future risk trends emerging from today's crisis environment. Instinctively, my first message at this forum was that every crisis presents opportunities. Even though I'm not a big Mandarin expert, but interestingly, I found that the Mandarin characters for the word crisis comprises one character representing danger and the other conveying opportunity, Wei Ji. It's how we respond to emerging opportunities and circumstances that shapes our successes or failures, especially in a crisis. While many organizations tend to react defensively when confronted with a crisis, like scaling back on investments, reducing expenses, and conserving capital, and they may well need to in order to survive if survival is the prime objective. But then this is also akin to applying brakes to a moving vehicle. While the vehicle and the fuel may be conserved, it doesn't take you much farther. I'll yet cover my views on future risk trends in another video very soon. But in this piece, I wanted to share my personal perspective on how to convert a crisis into an opportunity. I've reflected back on my leadership experiences from at least 3 major crises over the past couple of decades. The recent pandemic through 2020-21, the global financial crisis of 2007-2008, and prior to that, the dot-com bubble from 2000-2001. Through these experiences, I have built up a framework that has helped me respond to very challenging, uncertain, and fluid circumstances that accompany every crisis. While every crisis and its immediate impact may be very different, I do personally believe that you can follow a structured process to develop options, thoughtfully consider alternative courses of action, and create potential opportunities. Let's start with the first one. Ensure that the crisis is not one of survival. You need to do your homework and manage your risks to ensure that you have the resources and the stamina to ride out the crisis. Robust scenario planning and stress testing your business together with the team would give you a realistic assessment of your staying power. I'm a firm believer that if you have managed your business well during the good times, you're well positioned to capture opportunities from the crisis. Typically, poorly managed businesses that grew with the rising tide will find themselves in dire straits once the tide turns. Number 2, adopt a risk-on mindset rather than a risk-off one. Now that's easier said than done. It takes conscious effort to evaluate ongoing commitment of resources and identify the ones that will still move ahead and the ones that will get the axe. My mantra is to ensure that customer-centric, growth, and value-creating initiatives are always prioritized and supported. It is well understood that embarking on new investment projects in the midst of a crisis may be a challenge, but focusing your limited resources into growth, innovation, and differentiation with customers while cutting back on the nice-to-haves ensures that you are still playing the field while your competitors may not. Number 3, demonstrate leadership presence and empathy towards your team. Communicate proactively. At a time of crisis, the organization looks up to its leadership for strength and confidence. It is important to remember that the people in your team could be deeply affected by the crisis too and need your empathy, support, and understanding. As a leader, you need to be connected. You need to stay connected to the team, demonstrate leadership presence, and communicate proactively and regularly. This helps the team get a clear sense of commitment, direction, and purpose to not only navigate but determinedly push ahead through the crisis period. Number 4, build a collective sense of purpose within the organization. People in the organization always sense doom when there are cutbacks in resources, axing of initiatives, and expense management measures. Is my job going to be next? Is the question foremost in their minds. It's important to change the narrative and highlight the investments into strategic acquisitions, customer-centric innovations, and growth initiatives. The organizational focus needs to be directed to its priorities by ensuring a strong alignment within the team. This can be achieved by articulating the leadership vision, establishing the priorities, and emphasizing collaboration. In order to capitalize on the competitive space that is created during the crisis, the organization needs to respond with speed and agility. Momentum can only be achieved when all parts of the organization are collectively pursuing the same goals. Number 5, create an open, learning, and innovative culture. When confronted with an uncertain and rapidly changing external environment in a crisis, there are multiple scenarios that can play out over time, and not all of them may be very obvious. In such situations, it is essential to have an open and learning culture to be able to listen and discern feedback from your key stakeholders like your employees, your customers, business partners, shareholders, and even regulators. An open learning and innovative culture facilitates the aggregation of ideas and opportunities, enabling structured discussions, analysis and execution without being constrained by the organizational bureaucracy and decision making. This is possible when the entire organization feels the collective sense of purpose, has a stake in its success, and feels secure enough to express themselves. And lastly, co-opt partners and customers as part of your innovation journey. You can learn a lot when you invite your partners and customers to be part of your innovation journey. As your partners and customers are confronting their own realities, their needs are changing, and they become powerful sources of new ideas, new opportunities, and innovation. A very important source of learning comes from your own employees, who are hopefully also your customers. How have they been impacted by the crisis? What has changed in their lives and their needs? What are they looking for when evaluating a company's products and services? These are valid answers to which you need deep insights. There are plenty of areas of differentiation that can power your innovation efforts, ranging from changes to your service proposition, your core product proposition, or even your distribution channel models. The pandemic has certainly spurred innovation in all of these areas, and in many respects, there's going to be no going back. What has been your experience through this crisis? Have you created opportunities? What challenges have you encountered? Do share with me your thoughts, and let's keep this conversation growing. Thanks for listening. This has been Rangam, and I'll see you soon.